So this is our well ring that we work inside to maintain safety as we're digging down into this well. What we do is we dig underneath the well, banded well ring, and then lower it down as we go deeper. So it's just essentially the way the colonists had excavated their wells over time. They would put something in there, dig underneath it, and allow it to drop down as they dug the well deeper. So we just sort of follow their protocol. So here we are down in the bottom of the well, and as we were excavating, we noticed that there's iron staining at the very last foot or so, where historically the water table in the last 400 years has been going up and down, sort of oscillating between this point here and the bottom. So we had cultural fill with historic artifacts all the way right up to this bottom where you see the dark staining, and then we think the well went another 2 or 3 feet below this. We know that because as we probe, we can feel the hard sand of the wall and then the bottom. So when we're down in here digging, the whole well wants to collapse. It's like digging a hole in the sand at the beach. And so we have to implement a couple tools to allow us to get down in there. So this is how we fight back the inundation of the aquifer here. So at Jamestown, we're on a freshwater aquifer that has it's underpinned by salt water from the river and the swamp. So because the salt water is heavier, it's displacing the meteoric or rainwater. So you can see we're inundated right now. What we do is that we come in and we bail this water, and to have it be nice and clean water, what we did is we built a miniature sort of box like we did for the well. The bottom's open, and we go in and we excavate underneath it, and then bail it out or pump it out with an electric pump so the silt doesn't clog the pump. We've lined it with t-shirt, and that t-shirt on the inside keeps the silt out, and on the outside we've drilled holes in plywood that hold the box solid. We've built this manhole covery thing to go in the bottom, and we just push that down, and that keeps the pump off the bottom so that it's not pumping silt. But as you can see, that goes down pretty far, a couple feet, and allows us to pump our water. So beyond this point, this layer that's been the minimum maximum water inundation over the past 400 years, once we go below and in the water, we try to dig out arbitrary 5 inch or even up to a foot at a time. So what we did prior to digging down here is we augured out and took 1 foot samples and bagged them up to 5 feet in case there's any fill. We screened over 30 buckets of this, what we think is an inundation layer. So again, we think the well went 2 feet below, but just became inundated. So our current theory is they dug the well. It was the worst drought in 770 years. But then they went to the 3 feet below, and then a rain event happened, a nor'easter or something, and it became inundated, and they abandoned the well. They backfill it because they realize that the clay here will not allow them to just dig a shaft that has to be reinforced. So we think they're adapting when we see the other wells, the John Smith well, 1610-11 well that we dug. They're adapting to this New World environment of these very silty, sandy clays that we have here that just won't hold structure. Now the artifacts that are in the last few inches of this well are prehistoric. Their contact period is absent, I should say, and so it's material that's been here thousands of years. One of the reasons we have so much prehistoric or pre-contact period material is that we think that they expanded the cellar, and they're just throwing in the fill from expanding the cellar into the well. They're backfilling the well. The well probably became unstable, and they were afraid it was going to erode out into their structure. This well is in a cellar or a basement. It's the second one we found. The John Smith well was also in a basement. So not unusual, but those lack of European artifacts tell us it's a really early feature.